What's going on, Geminites? Gem Mint here with today's new comic book day reviews. It's Wednesday, April 7th, and I'm sorry I got this video out a little bit later than expected. I know a lot of you guys like to watch this before you go to your local comic shop in case something was a dud or something was great that you didn't expect. But nevertheless, we got it out on Wednesday. I've been super busy with packaging books and mailing them out from our big omnibus sale from yesterday. Pretty much everything sold out, so thank you for everybody who picked something up. Before we jump into this, we only have 9 days left for our Indiegogo campaign on our exclusive variant cover for the Invincible Red Sonja #1. This is the new series by Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti, and this is an exclusive that you can only get through us through this campaign, and it's the first published artwork from my 16-year-old daughter, Jade Hope. Only 9 days left. We've reached the $10,000 mark, so everybody who orders a book will automatically get a trading card of the cover. We have 126 backers. We gotta beat the Vampirella record of 163 backers, yo. I mean, you can't let my daughter's first cover not beat that Vampirella cover. So check the link in the description for our Indiegogo, and I gotta give a huge shout out to our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com. If you're looking to purchase any omnibus or collected editions, they sell them up to 50% off. Great packaging, fast shipping, and excellent customer service. They also have a bargain bin where you can get titles up to 90% off. If you mention this channel in the memo at checkout for your first order, your second order will have free shipping if you're in the United States. So check out cheapgraphicnovels.com. Now that that's out the way, let's jump into the books, and I'm going to start with the digital books that I read from Image Comics. So I'll tell you right now, these 3 issues could have all been pick of the week, and I really struggled not giving it to them because I really enjoyed them so much. First one is going to be Nocterra Issue 2. This is by Scott Snyder, Tony S. Daniel, and Tumei Mori. Issue 2 was great. So this Nocterra takes place after the big PM where everything went dark. The sun went out, the whole world is covered in darkness, and animals and humans start to mutate and become these monsters. Well, in this issue, we kind of learn a little bit on how it happened. They kind of teased it with this scientist that she's trying to transport across to some type of salvation area. It sounds like some scientists were fiddling around in the cosmos trying to find true heaven, and they ended up finding true darkness, which came to the planet. So I really like where they're going with this. The art style's great. It kind of reminds me of like 90s Image, like very neon light kind of stuff, because you have to have permanent lights to drive away these monsters. And it just has a very like J. Scott Campbell type of Danger Girl vibe to it. It's a great series so far, highly recommended. Almost got pick of the week. Next up, we got the Silver Coin Issue 1 by Chip Zdarsky and Michael Walsh. Excellent issue. This is about this kind of washed up rock band in the late 70s who's playing gigs for like literally nobody but just the bartender. Disco has kind of come in and taken over, and nothing's really going well for these guys. Well, the head lead singer and guitarist, they're digging through his mother's box of stuff that she left him and his father when she left them, and there's this kind of weird coin with like an eye on it. Anyway, he can't find his pick for practice and starts playing with the coin, and the coin's doing something to their sound. It's their music, but it's just amplified so much more. It's just so much better. They start playing gigs, they start getting more attention, and it just becomes this kind of like rock and roll story with a supernatural twist, which I'm not going to give away the ending, but you can see on the cover, like as he's playing, it's like he's shredding his finger apart, and a lot of crazier stuff happens. It's got a great art style to it, but the writing is where it shines, man. Chip Zdarsky is just such a great writer. His stuff is never boring, always fluid. It always just feels like you're listening to people talk. It doesn't feel like you're reading. Great issue. Another one that really could have got pick of the week this week. Speaking of great writers, the last book is Geiger, issue #1 by Geoff Johns. He's joined by Gary Frank and Brad Anderson. Man, this was an amazing issue. I love this. I think this is the book that was supposed to come out on DC, possibly, but ended up coming out on Image. Geiger. So how do I explain this? This is kind of like post-nuclear fallout. They kind of show people going to these bunkers. This man's getting his family into the bunker, but his neighbors are trying to take it from him, so they shoot him in the leg. He tells his family, just close the door, just let me out, let me be out here or whatever, and the bomb goes off. Everybody gets vaporized. But this guy and his dog seem to have survived. He seems to be some type of nuclear man, so there's kind of like a superhero aspect to it of the glowing man, but it's in this post-apocalyptic world. Resources are scarce. There's this Joffrey type of king of Las Vegas that is trying to, I guess he needs the resources that the glowing man has behind. So anyway, definitely a great indie superhero type of post-apocalyptic book. It's kind of got everything I like in comics, and I think this character is strong enough to be remembered as a character, not like some kind of environmental, situational type of post-apocalyptic book where it's more about the situation and the people. I really like this Geiger man, or whatever you want to call him. I think it's an interesting premise for a new series. All right, so let's move over to Boom Studios. We have Magic issue number 1. This is by McKay, Guara, and Kansani. I think I'm saying those wrong. So the thing about Magic the Gathering, I always wanted to get into Magic. As a kid, I bought a starter deck. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It seemed like it had a great lore to it. The characters seemed very rich, and I like that type of fantasy element. So I never got into Magic the Gathering. I still know nothing about it. I was hoping I could pick this up and kind of learn about this world of Magic. And also XM Studios is coming out with statues for these characters. So I was like, all right, this is a good chance to kind of learn something. Wrong. I'm lost, man. There's the thing about Magic, there's so many different types of characters. You got a Medusa character, a telekinesis character, just anything you could think of exists in the world of Magic. And this one is kind of setting up the world. You know, it's explaining that there's a multiverse, and then there's these different planes, and they're kind of introducing these characters, but I really had a hard time retaining what I was reading and who I was being introduced to. I don't know if I'm going to give it another shot. I mean, I would like to know more about the world of Magic. Let me know in the comments below, man, what you guys think I should do. All right, guys, moving on to 7 Secrets. Tom Taylor, Deanne DiNucciolo, and Walter Biamonte. So 7 Secrets got kind of stale for me for a couple of issues, and then in the last issue, they just blew the whole lid off, and that's where we are here. We're in this kind of like different realm of existence where our main character, is it Casper or Caspar? Where we find out more of his origins. Like, we know who his parents are. We know that they were like agents of this secret sect, but we're learning kind of like who his adopted parents were in this other plane of existence, which was really interesting, and kind of how he was trained as a child to be a warrior, and how he had a lot of promise even from then, before he even joined the sect, and I guess how he had a one-up when he was becoming one of the holders of the secrets. Anyway, really nice flashy art style. It really pops. It's in your face, jumping off the panel type of panels, and I kind of like where we are with this. I'm definitely digging the series. It's not as straightforward as it seemed going into it. All right, then we got one from Dark Horse. You know, I've been reading this God of War Fallen God. This is issue 2, and it's by Chris Robertson, Tony Parker, and Dave Raposa. I thought issue 1 was kind of slow. It picks up a little bit in issue 2. We kind of are still dealing with Kratos trying to get rid of the blades, trying to get rid of the chains. He doesn't want anything to do with it. He keeps throwing them away. He's traveling, and when he wakes up, they're right by his side. So we kind of see who's behind that and kind of what his role may be. He's this wanderer, but he seems to have wandered right where he's needed, where people are praying for him. And he's trying to say, listen, don't pray to gods. Gods are monsters. But they're like, hey, but you showed up when this monster just showed up, and you're gonna save us. So interesting premise here. I'm a big fan of the video games, and I feel like it earned another issue out of me. Moving over to DC Comics, let's start with the magazine-sized, oversized format Joker Harley Criminal Sanity issue 8. This is by Kami Garcia with Jason Baudower, Miko Suyan, and Annette Kwok. I'm a big fan of this series. It's just a different take on the Joker and his origins, and him being this serial killer, killing for the art type of character. And Harley Quinn, not Harley Quinn as you know it. She's working for the GCPD. She's really just obsessed with taking down the Joker. She understands that if you lock him up or put him in Arkham, he's going to get out and kill again. So she's kind of fed up. By the time we're at issue 8, she's ready to kill him. I really thought they were going to go in that familiar direction at the end of this issue, because they end up in the Acme chemical plant. Is that what it's called? But it didn't really play out how I thought it was going to play out. But like I always say, it's like a Law and Order First 48 type of television show with the Joker and Harley characters. More of a grounded take on them, if you will. I'm not even sure, is this the last issue or not? I hope there's another issue. I really want to see Harley turn to Harley, the Harley Quinn that we know. So I was digging it though. I always enjoyed this series. All right, let's go on now to Crime Syndicate. This is issue 2 of 6. It's Schmidt, McCohen, Hitch, Vines, Alif, and Sinclair. Surprisingly loving Crime Syndicate, man. This one is actually cool because you have a story and then you have a little backup that gives you the origin of the Owl, which is is it Earth 2? the crime syndicate's version of Batman. Anyway, the crime syndicate is being invaded by the Starros. They're leeching onto metahumans and they're mind controlling them, and they're looking to take over the world via metahumans. So that's kind of where we're at here. Superman, or actually Ultraman I should say, is being possessed, and it's a big fight between him and the Wonder Woman of that universe. And they kind of draw her really risque, man. It's really to, I guess, show you that it's an evil version of Wonder Woman. But I'm really having a good time with this series. All right, then moving on to Suicide Squad number 2. This one is by Thompson, Pasica, Ferreira, and Mialo. Really enjoying Suicide Squad, and I really never loved any of the Suicide Squad runs. This one's great. Peacemaker's in it, and I really love his whole, like, you're gonna get peace even if it kills you kind of vibe, you know? But him and Superboy, like the bad Superboy clone, trying to break out the Talon from Arkham, and this is during A-Day, right? So the Joker, seemingly the Joker, has let off these toxins. They're in there trying to rescue Talon. People are getting killed around them, and it's looking crazy. But it's definitely a fun ride. I don't feel like how I felt during Future State, where there were so many characters being introduced and I didn't know what was going on. This one, it's very clear and straightforward. It's got great artwork. It's fun. It's big, and definitely having a great time with it. All right, Sensational Wonder Woman issue 2. I feel like this was the end of this series. Was it a 2-issue miniseries? This is by Shia, Redondo, and Lucas. Yo, love this issue. The artwork, I love how they drew Wonder Woman, man. They capture her feminine side with her powerful side so well. Really Gal Gadot vibes. And basically Wonder Woman gets a distress call to War World, where a lot of this stuff from Infinite Frontier is kind of like foreshadowing what happened during Future State, I feel like. So you got Mongol kind of being the gladiator king in this war world. And is it Armides, the Amazonian sister of Diana, who called her there to help? Anyway, it was a really great issue, kind of trying to overthrow Mongol here, and it's a clever way that Armides did it. I don't want to spoil it, but man, I really love the artwork. The story was good, and Mongol was giving me heavy Darkseid vibes here. Got the mother box in the chest and everything. Really dug this issue a lot. All right, then we have the weird kind of Man-Bat issue 3, and I say it's weird because it takes place prior to Joker War. It's got nothing to do with Infinite Frontier or Future State. It's just kind of like a little Man-Bat series. This is by Welgos, Kumar, and Ferraro Jr. The art style's great here. You kind of have like a new take on Harley. She captures Man-Bat, but she doesn't want to turn him in. She wants to like get him on the right path. Get your stuff together. You know, heal the people that you hurt their hearing with. Make everything right. So that's what he tries to do here, and it doesn't go so well. He has a deaf sister who is his inspiration for getting into the field of bats and hearing in the first place, who's super offended that he's going through these great lengths to heal her because she feels like she's not broken. You know, why are you trying to heal me? I like my life. So there was kind of interesting dynamic there. A lot of great artwork here, impeccable artwork actually, man. Man-Bat with his snarling face and the spit everywhere, kind of doing like a Hulk transformation kind of thing, going from human to bat. So it's been a fun ride so far. Speaking of bats, we got the next Batman Second Son, issue 1 of 4. This is by Ridley Akins, Foreman Morales, and Locust. So this is following, I guess it's not Tim Fox, Jace Fox. He corrects everybody. It's really annoying. It's like, dude, where does this Jace even come from? So this is following the Fox family. So Tim Fox, aka Jace Fox, aka the next Batman, with Luke Fox and his father Lucius. It's really more of a family dynamic more than it is a Batman book so far. Kind of really hitting home how like they show him breaking up a street level crime, but it's like an active shooter in a supermarket, and it's like the profile of, you know, your typical active shooter. And it was just like, damn, villains in comics have changed so drastically from when they, you know, first started, or from you know, decades ago. I thought the issue was a little slow. I liked the family dynamic of it, but I wanted a little bit more Batman out of my Batman book. Moving over to Swamp Thing issue 2 of 10. This is by Ron V with Perkins and Spicer. Incredible. Loved it. What else can I say about any friggin' Swamp Thing book I've read? But this one's really great, man. Our main character, it's not the Swamp Thing that we know and love. It's a new character who seems to be having nightmares of becoming Swamp Thing and transferring his consciousness into Swamp Thing, fighting this desert thing. It's like a version of Swamp Thing, but it's like a desert creature that was created out of like sadness and loneliness or something like that from the last issue. Amazing artwork, Alan Moore vibes, but a new day and age. And then the character starts to really grasp what's happening to him and channeling it. So really liked it. It's going to be a great series. All right, then we got the main Batman title, Batman 107. This is by James Tynion IV, Jimenez, and Morey, with a backup Ghostmaker story by James Tynion and Ortiz. Jorge Jimenez with the cover. Amazing artwork. He's doing a lot of different stuff here with like old kind of comic book techniques, like the dot technique, and the lighting was great here. They had this panel of Batman with the light shining to his left side, or his right, our left, and it looked amazing. I like this creepy scarecrow story. It's after the events of A-Day, and he's freaking people out without toxins. He's just planting scarecrows in places and just creeping the hell out of people. You've got Ghostmaker working with Batman, but they're not really working together in this issue. He's kind of like showing up out of a poof of smoke and saving people. And then in his backup story, they go out of your way to kind of insinuate that he had a threesome with a guy and a girl. Like, I guess they're showing that he swings both ways, and I feel like that might have been established before somewhere else anyway. He definitely gave me Phantom X vibes, and kind of like vibes from that guy from Game of Thrones who was like, why limit myself to 50% of the population? Anyway, definitely digging the Batman ongoing. And moving over to the Marvel Comics, we're going to start with Incredible Hulk 45. This is by Al Ewing, Bennett, Jose, Barbo, and Mounts. This is one of those issues of Immortal Hulk that lets you know it's a great run, man. This was an excellent issue. There's like nothing like this in comics right now. It's got like Hill House DC Black Label vibes, but with the Hulk and characters like, you know, like Samson and Joe Fixit and all these familiar Hulk universe characters. A lot of consciousness jumping, people's consciousness jumping into other bodies, different Hulks coming around, the green door, the red door, and some Hulk redemption. Something I've been waiting on from this run since I've been reading it, with a twist at the end. This version of Hulk that arises looks awesome. I can't wait to see what happens, and I am excited for it to end. I want to see the conclusion of this story. All right, guys, and then my pick of the week, it's going to be King in Black issue 5, but we got to talk about Venom 34 first. This is by Donny Cates, Coelho, and Albertov. Amazing artwork. I don't really want to talk too much of what happens in Venom. That it's kind of going to be spoilers for King in Black. It just kind of sets up the characters where they need to be for the last issue of King in Black, plus something that may transfer out of this series regarding Flash Thompson. I love how he was this anti-Venom symbiote dragon in this issue. Otherwise, like I said, this is basically putting everyone in a position for the last issue of King in Black, the finale by Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, Meyer, and Martin. And I loved it, man. I loved the final battle between Venom and Null. The Dylan Brock thing didn't pan out the way I thought it was going to, and I'm cool with that. I don't want to be reading stories that are too predictable. So good job, Donny Cates. He threw me for a little bit of a loop. And we kind of know by now the Enigma Force is playing a role with the King of Light, the God of Light, and what gives Venom the power to even go toe-to-toe with Null. The way this ends, you can see why Venom 200 is going to be the last issue of Venom. I can't really see him continuing with an ongoing series the way that this ends. Definitely loved it. I think King in Black is a great story if you just knock out the 5-issue series. All the tie-ins, definitely not worth it, but it was a great series nonetheless. So dang, I feel like that was a lot of stuff, man. Let me know what you thought about this week's comics in the comments down below. Let me know what your pick of the week was. If you're enjoying this stuff, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and definitely check out our Indiegogo campaign for that Red Sonja before you leave. And actually, don't go anywhere. Check out my other new comic book day reviews in the playlist to the right, and stay minty fresh. Peace.